Vamos lá. Eu acho que esse evento aqui vai ser uma bosta. Valeu, Lucas. Eu tava olhando a tua mensagem agora.
Hey everyone, welcome to the PC Gaming Show 2022. I'm Day9 still, one of your hosts, joined again by the amazing Mika Burton.
Hi.
While we may look like elaborate Unreal Engine renders, we are here in the flesh, as is the hardware, bringing you the best and brightest in the world of PC gaming.
Over the next 2 hours, we are going to showcase a metric ton of killer upcoming PC games through world premieres, exclusive interviews, and a few surprises along the way. And you, the folks at home, might even be able to win yourself a fancy computer if you play your cards right.
Maneiro,
And now you
o
may remember
gabinete.
the last time you saw me on this show, things ended quite literally explosively.
Yeah.
There was a robot who tried to destroy the human race, electrocuted me. I think I died.
Definitely died.
Either way, I'm not really sure. It was standard robot apocalyptic stuff, just minus the overbearing anime dad and existential crises.
Yeah, well, actually, what happened to DevBot anyway? Wasn't he supposed to come back for this show for,
Yeah.
like, Revenge of the DevBot?
Well, he's dead.
Oh.
We melted him down to try to make our own graphics cards since they're still hard to find, and I would say he's in a better place. But I played Cyberpunk 2077, and he's not.
Ooh, that's pretty dark for the start of the show.
Or nostalgic.
Aw.
But none of that matters because the show actually took place in a parallel reality.
All right, so you're telling me there's actually a multiverse?
According to the writers who told me this 5 minutes before we went live, I am saying there's a multiverse.
All right.
We're now apparently on Earth 3, which
Ooh.
is not to be confused with E3 because this show is still happening.
Oh, and we are so thrilled to be back as a part of this weekend full of celebrations of gaming by putting the spotlight on something near and dear to our hearts. PC gaming.
And so, without any further ado, it's time for my favorite part.
Rated M for mature.
I won't leave you. You're not a monster. In the beginning,
Modus.
the world was subjugated by chaos. Endless droves of horrors trespassed into the world. And so came the solstice of souls. Something's coming.
Between death and transcendence, a chimera chooses death.
Show us what you've got!
A premissa é legal, hein?
May the judge have mercy on your souls.
Sister,
You're here with me,
I always will be.
as long as we are together. We're not going down. They wanted yet another monster. They shall have one.
You must resist it!
Solstice. Maneiro. Game Pass. Game Pass. Gostei, hein? Enfrentando cebolinhas. Wood. 2020, lá vai fumaça. Caraca, Rainbow Six com magos. É por isso que quando sai um jogo de PlayStation pra PC, o povo fica doido, né, cara? Não tem jogo. PC... Jogador de PC não tem nada, né, cara? Fica lá morrendo pro orc na porta do barquinho. 4 meses lá. A diversão do cara é ficar 4 meses matando o povo do barquinho lá. Tem que passar o mouse no mamilo mesmo, cara. Jogador de PC é raça triste, né, velho? Tactical Breach Wizards. Eu li o shit.
Tactical Breach Wizards, a turn-based game of sorcery and SWAT team strategy from the makers of Gunpoint and Heat Signature. My strategy, personally, is very simple. Breach, bang, clear, magic missile, dramatic flourish, abra, cadaver. Get it? Cadaver, dead body. Anyway. Next, we have a solution to the age-old problem of not having time to read and play video games. Just do both at the same time, obviously. Starward Industries has you covered with their sci-fi thriller inspired by Stanislaw Lem's novel, The Invincible. So here's your first look at the first ever gameplay footage.
You. What have you done?
Where are you taking me?
You came here yourself. So what are you expecting, huh?
You've set up a field camp down there.
Mais Starfield.
So I didn't expect you to have a second one here.
Really? Sit here and don't dare move.
Valeu, Iago.
What are you doing here?
You're not gonna like this part.
The Invincible. Pô, esse jogo aí tá bonito também. Nas travadas.
The radiation level is growing rapidly. It's starting to get interesting.
I'll pretend I didn't hear that, Doctor.
Legal o som. Frame rate oscilando.
I located the mobile antimatter cannon.
Another one? How many of those did they...
Mas tô curtindo aí a ideia.
I admire your composure.
Wait, someone's here. Astrogator, they're dead.
So you found someone. Fortunately, such unpleasant discoveries are indispensable to the mission.
I didn't let that thought get to me. I was counting on this meeting very much. At worst, it could have been another abandoned place, but not this.
But what exactly?
That's a good question. I'm getting into the recorder. What do we have here? Uh-huh. They made their way through with a beam of antimatter.
How subtle. Did you locate this passage?
I'm looking at it now. They pierced a hole several meters in diameter and several dozen meters long.
Yasna, do you hear me?
Yes. My head feels like it's bursting from pressure.
Can you continue?
Yes. I'm better now. Actually, there's nothing here that I haven't seen before. There are a lot of metal bushes that were near our camp. The lower parts of the bushes are, how to put it, fruitless.
So they came to pick the fruits.
This robot looks like it has started its task and got stuck.
What task?
This is one of the robots carrying containers with research material. It took the container, but never left that place.
Why do you think it's stuck?
Well, it goes in circles using the same path. The robot's gone.
You must have broken his loop.
But I didn't.
No, he must have done something. Never mind. Follow it.
É.
It's getting up.
Eu acho que esse jogo vai ter a pegada Firewatch.
Come on, Yasna. Run.
Aqueles games mais direcionados, né?
Yasna, are you alive?
Yes, it's fucked up the robot.
What's it doing now?
Jogando o controle do Xbox.
Take care of our people, Novik.
It's time to take a pit stop at the nearest dungeon to prove that chivalry isn't dead. And if you think I emphasize those words weirdly, you're right. And it'll all make sense momentarily when you see these next 4 games, especially when you hear from our friends at Tripwire Interactive. Roll that beautiful footage.
You? Nah. You don't have what it takes. You'll be back here too scared to try again. 'Cause the dungeon will turn you into lunch meat. Unless you're way tougher than you look. We got the guns, the turrets, the upgrades. But what you really need is guts and skills. Grab your posse and say your prayers.
Endless Dungeon.
To play. To die. To give your feedback. Do you have what it takes?
Esse é o F1 Manager, né?
Welcome to F1 Manager 2022, the ultimate F1 simulation, putting you in the position of team principal at one of the 10 current F1 teams battling it out for a chance to be the next world champion. Choose your team and drive every decision that leads to you making your mark on the grid, and hopefully the podium. Winning championships depends on your ability to make the right calls on and off the track. During races, you'll mastermind strategy, plan tyre stints for each driver, and make changes on the fly when necessary. Issue driver callouts, such as instructing them to attack or defend, manage their tyre wear and battery usage, or even to avoid battling a teammate, all while reacting to dynamic events like race incidents and fluctuating weather and track conditions. Between race weekends, you'll control every detail of your team from your state-of-the-art headquarters. Hire best-in-class staff to work across your aerodynamics and engineering teams and put them to the task to develop your car and prepare new parts for upcoming races. Optimize your finances to keep the board happy, improve and maintain your facilities, and scout talent from F2 and F3 to try and ensure future success. They say knowledge is power, and keeping a close eye on a plethora of realistic data will help give you the edge. From the finer details of how car parts affect overall performance, to a track's expected grip level, to the condition of your wind tunnel. How you analyze the data and spend your resources will make or break
aquele
You'll find depth and detail,
Tour de France,
even down to real-world team radio messages between drivers and engineers, and race commentary from David Croft and Karun Chandok. While broadcast-style presentation showcases 2022's striking new car design.
Botaram o grande prêmio desse domingo, legal. Azerbaijão ali, para ilustrar o jogo, legal.
F1 Fantasy Home, as you plan and execute the perfect strategy in F1 Manager 2022. Pre-order the digital version now for early access from August 25th.
Vai sair para os consoles também.
Hey everyone, after 1 year of Chivalry 2, we've more than doubled the size of the game, and now we're excited to bring even more knights onto the battlefield. Because today, right now, Chivalry 2 is out on Steam with crossplay between all platforms. This is our biggest update to the game yet, and it brings players to an all-new desert theater of war, and best of all, brings us horses into Chivalry 2 in mounted combat. We want to thank our community for making the game the success that it's been so far, and if you haven't played it yet, now is the best time to check out Chivalry 2. Take a look at our new trailer that shows off the new update and its Nosian invasion.
This rebellion is at an end. The Agathians flee to their stronghold in the north. This land is mine. Now Denosia rises from the south. Kill them all!
Acho que a nova Plus é só normalmente 4 da manhã que libera nessas paradas aí de lançamento e tal. Depois eu vou ligar meu play aqui pra ver se tem alguma coisa lá de horário. Fala, Railão. Dr. RDX. Eu queria poder mostrar o meu PC pra vocês aqui, mas ele tá no chão, cara. Eu quero mudar o layout aqui do canal. Eu quero botar o PC do meu lado aqui pra... Quando eu colocar a câmera... Uma segunda câmera, vocês poderem ver o PC funcionando aqui. Meu PC é porreta.
Hi everyone, I'm Phil from Sweet Bandits, live from Quebec City. Really glad to be here today for the PC Gaming Show. We'll be showing the first trailer for our game, Deceive Inc. It's a multiplayer competitive spy game where you get to use social stealth, high-tech gadgets, and powerful spy abilities to try and get the upper hand. We've had the chance of working with Tripwire Presents on the project, so this is only the beginning. Please follow us on social.
Ele tá usando o novo modelo da SteelSeries.
Releasing the game in early 2023 on
tipo esse meu aqui.
Xbox Series S, NX, and PS5. Thank you so much, and let's enjoy the trailer.
Good afternoon, agents. Your mission is simple. Infiltrate the Frozen Coral underwater hotel and retrieve the blueprint of a powerful weapon. As you know, Deceive Inc.'s company policy is to deploy multiple agents to ensure the mission's success. But only one will get the paycheck. Do whatever it takes, agent, and be careful out there.
É o foda que... Quando eu ligo o meu PC aqui, esquenta o quarto todo, cara. Realmente parece uma usina nuclear.
Oh, come on. They can't be this fast.
And they thought it was...
Quero ver o que a Night Dive Studio vai anunciar, velho.
They're really not gonna make it easy for me. Gotcha.
Is that it?
Right on target. Outskilled and outgunned.
It can't end like this.
Target acquired. Moving to rendezvous point. All done. Really? Mission complete!
Deathloop de Taubaté, velho.
Let me ask you something. Do you ever have a reoccurring dream that you really wish would come true? I mean, mine personally involves a flight of unicorns and a Valkyrie army on Pegasuses, but you know, yours may be different, but you know, somehow I doubt it. This year, we've partnered with the PC builders at iBuyPower to bring a very different dream to life. My dream PC room. Unfortunately, there's bad news for me. I don't get to keep it. But very good news for one of you. We're going to be giving the entire contents of this room away to a lucky winner watching the show. So let's dive in and see what's up for grabs. The beating heart of any PC gaming dream room is, of course, the rig, so let's start there. As you can see, the mad geniuses at iBuyPower have built...
Botou a placa de lado, velho.
The first thing you'll notice is that Height Y60 case with its wraparound tempered glass panels. This thing is built from the ground up to display the sickest PC tech you can squeeze into a desktop machine. And let's face it, if you managed to bag a serious graphics card in these dry times, you owe it to the silicon gods to show it off properly. Okay, the case and lighting looks dope, but for this to be a true dream PC, we need more than just state-of-the-art drip. Luckily, the substance matches the style. So let's check out the guts of our dream PC, and trust me, there's plenty of power crammed in. The big question, though, is what pixel pusher iBuyPower has used, and you won't be disappointed with an overclocked RTX 3090 from Gigabyte, right? This 24GB monster of a GPU packs the cooling to stay chill and the power to smash through any game you throw at it.
Meu PC, eu tô com uma 3080 Ti da Palit. Aquela Game Rock.
5 GHz Core i9 12900KS with 32GB of DDR5 RAM and 2 TB of seriously fast SSD storage, both from ADATA, makes up the perfect support team. Whew, that is a whole lot of PC. But Mika, you may greedily wonder, what about the peripherals? Well, animal lovers, we got you covered, because the Height Eclipse wireless headset comes in plush vegan leather trim with a 30-hour battery life and competition-grade 2.4 GHz connection. And you noisy typers are going to love the clicky-clacky mechanical keyboard that comes with it. Oh, I'm sorry?
É, cara, o meu PC tá... O meu PC é todo RGB, cara, até as memórias. Eu botei umas HyperX no meu PC também que são RGB. Eu comprei um gabinete da Asus também, que é todo aberto, assim. Não igual esse aí, não. Mas a lateral dele é toda aberta. É bem bonito, né, de olhar dentro do computador. Até a minha placa de captura interna tem RGB também, cara. Então ele é quase um carnaval, velho, dentro do computador. Mas achei legal essa instalação da placa de lado.
Also comes with some very swish monitors as well as the eligibility rules. Good luck, gamers.
That is right. Just head over to pcgamer.com/dreampc for your chance to win. But for now, let's get back to the games. From Kepler Interactive and A44 Games comes Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn, an action RPG from the team behind Ashen, where gods and guns collide.
When the gods first emerged from the great below,
eu acredito que o Forza não vai ter modo carreira, não. Vai ser aquele modo carreira básico mesmo, cara. Não vai ter nada de manager, não. Aí esse jogo aí vai ser foda.
For one, intend to find out.
Cara, eu só fiz questão de comprar as minhas memórias RGB porque a diferença era mínima. E aí eu falei, ah, já que tá tudo colorido aqui, vou botar a porra colorida também. Só pra ficar igual. Mas eu tô com um PC muito bom. Só que eu ainda tô com dificuldade pra streamar e gravar em 4K pelo OBS. Eu posso streamar em 4K pro YouTube, fica numa qualidade muito boa, usando o codec da NVIDIA, né, pra usar a placa de vídeo pra renderizar. Mas essa configuração que eu tenho aqui pra gravar em 4K, ela é meio complicada. Não aguenta, não. Eu tô até pensando em fazer um overclock nessa placa pra ver se melhora um pouco o desempenho. Flintlock. Esse vai sair pro One, vai sair pra tudo quanto é plataforma. PC da Xuxa. É o bichinho do Last Guardian ali.
I'm Derek Bradley, the CEO of A44 Games and creative director of Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn. Flintlock is set in a world ruled by old gods, and so as humanity, you now have the power of black powder and bombs and flintlock rifles to finally overthrow the gods and take the world back. You'll play as Nor, a Blackstream sapper, one of the elite explosives experts of the Coalition forces.
Eu queria testar o overclock da minha placa pra ver se não sobrecarrega tanto no OBS, porque o OBS tá... O OBS tá puxando muito da placa de vídeo.
Head over to our socials for more info and don't forget to wishlist now on Steam and Epic Game Store. Have a great show.
Coming up next, a mysterious new sci-fi game from 11-Bit Studios, the creators of This War of Mine. Hear all about it in our exclusive interview. We'll also show you what's next for Outriders from Square Enix and People Can Fly. Plus, if you look back on high school and think, you know, those 4 years would have been better if I was fighting literal demons, you're definitely going to want to study up on our next world-exclusive independent game inspired by the Persona series. Choke your health potions now because there is so much more PC gaming show coming your way. Before we go, the folks at Compass Data Centers have a little quiz for you. How much higher is 5G's data capacity compared to current 4G networks? Scan this QR code and answer the question for a chance to win $500 worth of stuff from Razer, or visit gaming.compassdatacenters.com. Okay, now back to the PC gaming show.
Ready to game the system? Meet Mana. You slay, you achieve, you win. So should your bank account, because your power shouldn't stop when the game does. Mana is the best gaming rewards debit card where you can earn perks and points by paying and playing, and get rewarded with the things you actually want, like that skin you can't wait to show off, or your next gear upgrade. So why pay any other way? Pay with Mana. Pay with power. Mana. Game the system.
So I know what you're thinking, and the answer is yes. It's time to talk about The Alters, the brand new game from 11-Bit Studios. The Warsaw-based studio made us cry in This War of Mine, make difficult choices in the face of climate apocalypse in Frostpunk.
Saiu a versão definitiva aí do This War of Mine no Game Pass.
In a survival story that is
Valeu, João.
In a good way. This is a really big moment for this year's show. I can't wait. Let's take a look.
Projeto Dolly. Valeu, Michael. Caraca. Caralho. Qual é o nome? Alteres. Alters. A premissa é interessante. Será que ele vai ser 2D?
Is Tomasz Kasilewicz of 11-bit
Steam Deck ali.
Welcome to the PC Gaming Show, and thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. Hello.
Okay, there is a lot to unpack there. We got clones, we got this huge wheel. Tell us, what did we just see?
Well, first of all, these guys were not exactly the clones. We saw Jan, our main character, who's traveling with a group of the Alters, who are the alternative versions of the same person. And they are going through this distant alien planet in their mobile base, which was the wheel you saw at the end.
So what's the player's goal as they're progressing through the story?
So you are a space builder stranded on this distant planet, and your goal is to survive and find a way back home. But the thing is, in order to do so, you need to create those alters, as each one of them have different set of skills and character traits. So these are things necessary for your survival and finding a way back home.
So from the trailer, tonally this could be a horror, a thriller, a mystery. What should players expect?
Actually, there are bits of everything you mentioned, like there is this mystery as we're looking deep into the soul of the character.
Fala aí, Nanzeira.
What you find there can also be pretty scary, so there are those beats of psychological horror and drama. But then on top of it, we have this quite thick layer of surreality. I mean, how surreal would it be to one day, you know, wake up next to a little different alternative version of your very self?
Now, there's a quote that you shared with me earlier, that man cannot remake himself without suffering, for he is both the marble and the sculptor. How does this quote relate to the story?
So this quote, it relates directly to the main theme of our game. We as people, we are shaping ourselves every single day with every single decision that we are making. This process, the whole process of becoming who we are, it can be quite painful at times. But in our game, Jan, the main character, he has this unique possibility of not only shaping himself, but also reshaping himself numerous times with every single altar that he is creating.
Do you see this as more of a classic sci-fi story, something like a Ray Bradbury work, or is it something more contemporary?
Well, it is very classic sci-fi in a way that we are taking a relatable topic and we are using the sci-fi theme, we are using the sci-fi setting to look at it through the magnifying lenses. But then when we're choosing the tools, this is a very contemporary game and we're taking advantage of what video games are as a medium. So we're using tools like systematic design and nonlinearity in order to put the players in the middle of the experience and in the end allow them to create their own stories inside the game.
I wanted to ask a little bit about the relationship of your previous titles to the Alters, whether there's any narrative or themes or even just influence that those games had on this one.
Well, the Alters is purely 100% our game, 11-bit Studios game, and it's created in line with our meaningful entertainment philosophy. So it's a game we hope that it will make you think even after you stop playing it. This War of Mine was this first huge milestone. It paved the way for all the future titles. And with Frostpunk, it was taken to another level with the strong focus on the emergent narrative. And now with the Alters, we want to follow that path, but we also really want to push the boundaries even further and expand on
Frostpunk eu não joguei.
topics inside the design of our games.
Thanks so much again to Tomasz and the whole team at 11-Bit Studios for joining us this year. And while I try to find enough Rapidium to make it through day 1 to 8, let's head on over to Mika Burton and keep things rolling like a massive space station.
Thanks, Day9. Honestly, I need to look into getting myself cloned so I can make time to play all of these awesome games we've seen so far. But I'm also legitimately worried about having to eventually fight my clone in single hand-to-hand combat when they steal my life, making me wonder if I was the clone all along. Is it really worth it for video games? Yeah, no, it's totally worth it for video games. Anyway, that's a problem for future Mika. Present Mika is much more interested in what you all have been saying about the show so far. So keep letting us know your thoughts by using
Legal cenário.
PC Gaming Show on all platforms. Now, let's get back to the real reason all here. Cloning. I mean video games. Video games.
DLC do Outriders. Cara, eu nem lembro como joga isso aí, cara. Eu fiz 1000G no Xbox e nunca mais voltei. Parecendo Doodle God isso aí. É aquele que mostraram lá no Xbox, né? Porra, caralho, eu ia forçar a barra mesmo. Compre esta merda. Aracida Top Term. Porra, faz bem. Fazer hidromel. Puta merda.
Sure. When Tiny Build lets you open your own medieval potion shop, you get hailed as a master alchemist. But when I do it, I get a sternly worded letter from my landlord about how my cauldron violates our lease agreement. Whatever, it's his loss. But more importantly, folks, we promise you the maximum amount of games humanly possible, and we aim to deliver quite literally.
Toupeira. Falta ser o jogo do Morbius.
Before your eyes lies the Celestial Islands, a world of peace above the clouds, protected by 4 great houses.
Começou a putaria. Sofrido, sofrido. O pior é que eu acordei cedo pra ver a Fórmula 1, cara. Eu tô aqui à base de café do rabo.
Planet Earth, our beautiful home. To protect it, we must reach out to explore the unknown. Our team of experts is presently probing the deep sea in a struggle against the yoke of overregulation. These security and defense innovations allow you to shrink any problem down to size. We surge forward, obliterating the enemies of progress, but we refuse to...
Big Daddy's like...
We are the future. We are Ozine.
Tidal Terror.
And now it's time to give you an exclusive briefing on what's next for one of PC gaming's titans of modding, simulation, and scale, Arma 4. Last month, developer Bohemia Interactive kicked things off by releasing Arma Reforger on Steam in early access. This playable prototype will be a foundation for Arma 4. And with it playable on Steam now, we have a ton of questions about the future of Arma. I mean, after all, this is the series that helped birth the survival genre through DayZ. Oh, and also this other little niche genre you may have heard of.
Eu tô evitando de tomar o overclock pra não prejudicar o meu sono, cara.
Reforger has been out for about a month. What is it that you've been learning or seeing from players?
At first, we've learned that players like Reforger a lot and they appreciate the work we've put into it.
Ivan Busta.
Modding a lot, and they really view this as a key quality of our games. And we are very pleased by the reactions.
Hoje na Fórmula 1 foi engraçado quando a asa do... Acho que do Tsunoda abriu pela metade, né? A Red Bull te dá asas, mas a AlphaTauri te dá meia asa.
And I'm curious, what were some of the big challenges of rebuilding that specific Arma feel from the ground up?
Se eu tomar o overclock, eu fico com dificuldade para dormir depois, cara.
Even internally, it's an ongoing kind of fight. So I'm myself very much on the very purist side of things. So no HUD, no save games, no superficial helpers, and this fight can get very intense even in-house. I'm the real Arma purist, and I'm on this for 25 years now, so I will keep fighting, but obviously this is part of the fun, so there's always never-ending battle. I think 2 years ago we really struggled to keep it Arma and even internally preserve our own standards, so do it our own way rather than replicating what's maybe normal in other games, because our goal is not to make the same game as all other games, so our goal is to remain unique.
I'm curious if you can speak to what the main goals of Reforger is, because it's a little...
Era o caminho que o Battlefield deveria estar tomando, né?
How much content should a player expect if, say, they've been playing Arma 3 for years?
Our goals were, of course, to restart the series from a technological standpoint, really make room for some new achievements, utilize the technology which is state-of-the-art, both in terms of how it looks like, how it's controlled, how it can be modded.
It's important to understand it may look as a kind of normal game on the surface, but there's a big system behind it. So just the tool suite is a massive tool suite, never tested by a large public. So it's a premiere of a tool suite. And these tools are being built for nearly 5 years now. So we really need users to start using them to keep improving and continue building it.
Sorry to interrupt, but we have one quick question from the Arma fans. Has Russia's invasion of Ukraine impacted your approach to Arma 4 and Arma Reforger, a game that depicts the Cold War?
Well, yes, because it's extremely close to us. We even live in in a way very nearby, so definitely. On the other hand, we started work on this many years ago, so the direction was set before. But we always approach conflicts and armed conflicts with a great level of respect. We're still at the beginning, but we definitely would like to continue in our exploring this serious theme.
Arma, as I see it, has always been a bit more of a anti-war game. It's an entertainment product. That's fair thing to admit. On the other hand, given the topic, given our, let's say, maturity and long time we've spent on it, and our ambition to portray it as a all very complex and gritty thing, I would like us to contribute by not just entertaining people, but also educating them on the subject. This was the whole point of starting the cooperation with the International Committee of the Red Cross, and I believe we have great potential, big responsibility in this era, and a very important chance to contribute at least a little bit to the good side of things.
This would not be an interview about Arma unless we were asking about modding. I mean, so many amazing games and genres came from Arma mods, so I gotta know what's possible in Reforger that wasn't possible in the past.
Now with this technology, it's possible to create entirely different things, like entirely different games. It has so many variables, but the beauty now is that much more of it is user accessible, unlike the previous games. So people can easily digest how this is constructed in our Workbench tools. So unlike previously where it was more hard-coded in the C++ engine, so now they can check the data of every single element of the game and go much deeper than in previous games. So this will be super exciting.
Now, I wanted to ask a little bit about performance, because anyone who's played Arma...
Pelo menos a minha internet não caiu, né?
...challenging to get a good frame rate in those massive multiplayer matches. So I'm curious, what expectations should players have about performance leading into Arma 4?
Arma 3 was built on foundations laid down in times of single core and no GPUs, basically. So this time much more computations and intensive rendering things can be done directly on GPU, but it required completely a new approach.
Again, we are in the beginning, and we know that there are problems, there are difficulties, but we are solving them one by one. We are really gathering community feedback and even our own definitely feedback, so we are moving things forward. And yeah, it's about optimization. It's not that much about FPS, but also for like network traffic, for instance. When you have this massive multiplayer game, it's a huge challenge. Server performance, of course, and all the technical things. So we are moving forward.
Thank you so much again, Bohemia Interactive, for giving us the inside scoop on both Arma Reforger and Arma 4. Now, you don't go anywhere, because here is what's around the corner.
Just around the corner in the PC Gaming Show, prepare to experience terror ranging from the subaqueous to the subconscious with the latest from Shiro Games. Hold on to your butts, because front-end development spared no expense on the new Jurassic World Evolution 2 expansion, and get your crowbars ready for Half-Life Alyx Levitation, a special project from some very talented modders. Oh modders, what would PC gaming be without you? While we're here, quick geography question. Which parts of the world use the most bandwidth for gaming? Answer this question for the folks at Compass Data Centers, and it could win you a $500 Razer gift card. Scan the QR code on the screen to enter.
Last year, Shiro Games debuted War Tales at the PC Gaming Show, but the publisher has a lot more than its medieval sandbox RPG on the way. Up next, we'll hear what's up with Shiro's slate of projects, and stick around for the debut of two completely new games, Decarnation and Abyssals.
Hey everyone, thank you very much for the invitation, Mika. I'm James, and I can't wait to show you everything that we've got prepared for you today. So it's been a crazy couple of months for everyone here at Shiro Games, with Dune Spice Wars marking the most successful release in the history of the company, and it's entirely thanks to all of you. But today, let's look at Dune Spice Wars multiplayer mode. Up to 4 players can go head-to-head and free-for-all, 2v2, all work together in co-op against AI opponents. We're introducing new synergy systems between factions that will open a vast number of strategies to help you crush your opponents. Multiplayer will be available in Dune Spice Wars very soon. After 5 years and nearly 3 million units sold, Northgard's story finally continues. In a new chapter set shortly after the events of the first campaign, Ragnarok has decimated the lands of Northgard. Long-standing alliances have been broken. Violence and betrayal now plague the continent. Forced to depart what they once called home, our heroes arrive on unknown shores and find themselves confronted by unfamiliar faces in a dangerous new realm. This Northgard expansion arrives this winter. And for all of our War Tales players out there, Cooperative is finally coming to our open-world tactical RPG. You share food, gold, and camp with your friends. But you can split up to cover more grounds. Before every fight, devise the perfect strategy to overcome any threats that may stand in your way. But be careful in your approach, as one wrong move may lead to your group's demise. The co-op update will allow you to play between 2 to 4 players, and it will be available.
Esse tipo de jogo aí.
So a few months ago we announced Shiro Unlimited, a new publishing label created by indies for indies, and we are very proud to announce 2 new titles coming from the Shiro Unlimited family.
It seemed like our last chance to start again, to escape Earth's devastation.
We used our limited resources to lay the foundations of a new life, deep below the waves of this strange new planet.
But soon, we realized it was not the dream world we had hoped for.
When faced against the darkness of the abyss, we found ourselves helpless.
Lost.
Isolated.
Caraca, isso é muito Tetsu. Decarnation. Isso é muito Akira, velho.
You just saw why you were exactly right to be afraid of the ocean in Abyssals. And you confronted your inner demons in the retro dream horror of Decarnation. Next up, how do you rebuild a city in a world set after the collapse of civilization? Let's find out how by taking a look at I Am Future from tinyBuild.
Warning, hibernation aborted. Your total hibernation time was 6 years, 6 months, 5 days. Welcome to Eden, your new home.
I have no idea where the hell I am. But damn, this place is gorgeous.
Cara, eu tô aqui pelo anúncio da Night Dive, cara.
forefathers conquered Calderia and bestowed it upon us, a new generation, to share or spar over.
Our great houses seek to obtain the Emperor's favor, cultivating our lands and subjects to improve and enrich the realm, beginning with ourselves.
Fala aí, Henrique.
Dominance can be secured.
Eu ia jogar alguma coisa aqui depois do evento, mas, pô, eu tô com um puta de um sono, cara. Eu vou tirar o cochilo. Guardar minhas forças pra testar a nova Plus amanhã e acompanhar o evento da Capcom.
And now, for these next trailers, it's true. They do move in herds. That was so much. The thought process is simple. God creates dinosaurs, God destroys dinosaurs, man destroys God. Man creates video games to play with dinosaurs. But just be warned that one of these trailers might come as a bit of a shock to the system.
Jurassic Evolution 2 DLC. Eu quero jogar o The Quarry, pô. O problema é... Eu já tô há 6 horas aqui. 5 horas. 6 horas de live já, cara.
PC Gamer. Humans interfacing with computers.
Será que é o System Shock?
Entertainment. The very notion disgusts me.
Look upon my works, foul creatures,
and weep at its magnificence. It is a beautiful day on Citadel Station. Humanity is on the verge of a new era. I, Shodan.
Tá bonito pra caramba, hein?
Look at you, hacker. A pathetic creature of meat and bone.
How can you challenge a perfect, immortal machine?
You are an insect. You are nothing. I create. I iterate. I fuse flesh and steel into perfection. My children, hacker. Their blood is on your hands. You will suffer for your transgressions. These are my avenging angels, and they will have retribution.
Tá bonito, hein? Prime Matter.
What an incredible and frankly horrifying trailer. Developed by Night Dive Studio, System Shock is the return of a beloved, acclaimed sci-fi saga. Today, to take us even further inside the world of System Shock, I am thrilled to welcome the one and only Warren Spector. Thanks so much for joining us, Warren.
Hey, thanks for having me. This is going to be fun.
In terms of trying to translate the experience of a game from 1994, 3 decades later to now, what doesn't carry over well?
The first thing is the graphics, obviously. We did the best we could, but it was pretty primitive back then. And the other one is the user interface. If you look at when the game opened, the original, a help screen that came up, and it filled the entire screen with text. It's just insane. I don't know how the guys at Night Dive did it. It's amazing. But frankly, as I think back on it, the game actually holds up pretty well. I'm excited to see it come back.
Just wondering if you think many modern gamers are aware of the impact that System Shock has had in terms of gameplay systems, in terms of narrative structure, on so many games that came after it.
I'm not sure people see the influence, which is a little unfortunate. But I think the rest of the world is going to get the chance now to experience it, and I think they'll see not just that they're having fun playing this game, but also see that other games followed in its footsteps.
Nowadays, we walk around with computers in our pockets. We're worried about the evil of algorithms. How do you think about a character like Shodan in 2022?
Shodan seems far too close to reality to me right now. And let's just hope that she doesn't show up as nasty a form as she did back in 1994.
Well, Warren, I wanted to thank you so much for joining us. And I want to let you know I cannot wait to return back to that world I played and enjoyed so much as a kid. Cheers.
Yeah, I can't wait to return to that world. I forgot
right?
Basically the fans know way more about the game than I do now, so it'll be a new experience for me too.
Thank you so much again, Warren Spector, for joining us to talk all things.
Não tive a oportunidade de jogar esse game em 94.
It might completely ruin my sleep schedule, but before I spiral further, here are some more games to cram into your eyeball.
Em 94 acho que eu tava jogando Dynavision. Eu nem sonhava com jogos 3D. É, eles refizeram o System Shock todo, né? Bem legal o visual. Ah, cara, meu primeiro PC foi em 2003, eu joguei... A primeira coisa que eu joguei no meu PC foi Doom 3. Fala aí, Ed. É legal que vai sair pros consoles também, né? Se bobear, sai direto pro Game Pass.
Lead the survivors to Demarat, where you will continue following Frontier's storyline campaign in orbit of an alien star.
Gamers, good work. You've made it here to a site of grace, or a bonfire, or a sculptor's idol, or a lamp. Make sure you're staying hydrated, replenish your potions, and most importantly, keep letting us know what games you're excited about using hashtag PCGamingShow. I mean, personally, I can't wait to play The Altars. Oh, good. Now that we're all rested up, feeling good, it's time to enjoy a slice of that lovely cyberpunk life, courtesy of Nivalis, and experience the investigative horror of Immortality, the latest from the mind of Sam Barlow.
I believe we have a short clip here. Do you want to tell us what we're about to see?
Of the Mermaid. Aí uns FMVs aí.
Does this work as confession?
Good work.
Cortaram o pinto do cara.
Now it's worth more.
Did you ever read his diary?
We can take a break. We should take a break. No, we can go.
Game Pass.
Hey, boss. Time to wake up. We got customers waiting. What do you mean you don't know where to start? Let's clean this place up. Move some chairs and tables around. We can make this place shine again. If the weather gets bad, we can
Pesadelo na Cozinha 2099.
start making real money. Well, then you can rent that fancy new apartment in Midtown. So make friends, make enemies. If customers are rude, just turn on the old charm. Or water down their drinks. I'm not your conscience. This is a world to explore, to make stories. Your stories. You ever look up at the clouds and wonder what's up there? Well, if you dream big enough, maybe you'll find out. Maybe we all will. Welcome to Nivalis.
Hi, I'm Marco.
And I'm Roman.
At Ironlands, we are big fans of cyberpunk fiction and games, but we have our own ideas of what a cyberpunk world can be. This is a game in which you manage your restaurant, bar, or nightclub, take care of your staff, make deals, farm, and experience the stories of the people you meet.
Or maybe you just want to take the day off and go fishing at the docks instead. Nivalis primarily uses voxel art for the environments. We spend lots of time creating a unique atmosphere with high levels of detail and dynamic elements.
We are excited about the cyberpunk.
Pode ser interessante isso aí, hein?
Can't wait to see the choices you'll make and how you'll choose to live your life when you come visit us in Nivalis. You can wishlist Nivalis now on Steam and the Epic Game Store.
Mana is the gaming rewards debit card that puts the power back in the hands of players. So with every quest you complete and every purchase you make, you're earning for the rewards you actually want. We make it easy for you to set up and start. Just sync your favorite games to your Mana account and start earning real-life rewards the next time you play. So why pay any other way? Pay with Mana. Pay with power. Mana. Game the system.
Get ready to overclock your eyeballs, because this next trailer is coming in hotter than my computer with 3 Chrome tabs open.
Necrosoft. Eu comprei aquele The Complex, que é nessa pegada de FMV, eu acho que é 2 horas pra 1000G. Jogo estilo... Esses games estilo filme, eu acho que não podem ter mais de 3 horas pra completar 1000G não, cara. 3 horas é praticamente 2 filmes, né? Um jogo desses que você levar mais de 5 horas pra mais de 3 horas, vai. 3 horas já é muito. Tem que ser um negócio simples com... Chapter Select, né? Seleção de capítulo pra você fazer eventualmente o que ficou faltando. Não pode ser igual aquele que saiu pro PlayStation, que tem que jogar o... Pra fazer cada escolha, tem que jogar o game inteiro de novo. Pô, é ridículo isso, cara. Erika, o Erika. Erika é tenebroso, cara. Você não pode pular, você não pode fazer nada, tem que fazer um monte de escolha, seguir um monte de caminho, cara, bizarro. Esse é dos criadores do Persona, né?
You just saw Demon School from Welsh developer Ysbryd Games, and now it's time to take a bit of a spooky transition. If you're at home, turn on all the lights in the room, make sure the salt circle is unbroken, and check to see that your door is properly painted with sacrificial lamb's blood, because things are about to get certifiably terrifying. Let's look at the H.R. Giger-inspired biopunk horror, Scorn.
Desolate and decayed. A grisly nightmare of macabre perception. Greetings. I'm your host, Doug Bradley.
O Winter's Daydream já é exagero, né? Aliás, ele vai ser relançado, né?
Scorn's mesmerizing labyrinth of odd forms and somber tapestries. You awake in the middle of a desolate hellscape filled with biomechanical contraptions, part flesh, part machine. An industrial civilization now lying in decay.
É uma ode a H.R. Giger. H.R. Giger.
Fauna sleeps within the underbelly of the world, wanting nothing more than to be left undisturbed. Scorn has been carefully crafted with great attention to detail. Everything is focused on building a specific atmosphere. From a unique organic ecosystem to an unsettling soundscape created by Ethek and Lustmord. Scorn has no dialogue, so most of the storytelling comes from the environment, discovering the ever-present symbiotic relationships and how things are connected equips you with the tools to progress. While there is shooting within the game, Scorn is not a shooter.
Infelizmente.
The encounter must be carefully considered. A wrong choice could be deadly.
Acho que é o maior pecado desse game ele não ser um shooter. Eu acho que isso vai ser o vai ser o ponto fraco desse game. Eu acho que esse game tá fadado ao fracasso total, cara.
Are you prepared to unravel your inner self within Scorn's world of horror?
Isso era pra ser um shooter estilo Doom 3, cara. É claro, com esses elementos aí de exploração também, mas...
Now, while I've been delightedly playing Dune Spice Wars, harvesting melange, and trying to figure out how to pronounce Kwisatz Haderach, it doesn't matter, I'm equally ready to turn hordes of Tyranids into a Jackson Pollock painting in Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. In this brutal third-person shooter, you once again step into the oversized power armor of Titus, an elite Primaris Space Marine in a galaxy immersed in a never-ending war. To take us further inside the grimdark, I am joined by Tim Willits and Oliver Hollis, the creative director, on Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. First of all, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you. Thanks for having us.
Good to be here.
Now, Tim, I want to start with you. You previously worked at id Software on Doom. How would you say the Space Marine compares to Doom Guy?
That is a good question. I bet many people did not know that the original Doom Guy was actually a Space Marine, inspired by an even older Space Marine, which is the Warhammer 40,000 Space Marines. So, you know, it's really exciting for me to work on Space Marine 2, you know, because it's a great franchise, and I know that it's inspired so many other video games throughout the last
Marine.
Oh, absolutely. And there's so much lore to sift through. And I think this brings us to talk a little bit about the new Space Marine that you're going to get to play, a Primaris Space Marine. Oliver, talk to us a little bit about Captain Titus and what makes this class of Space Marine different from the others in the universe.
So the Space Marine is a brainchild of the Emperor, the kind of leader of this of humanity in the grimdark future. He saw the dangers that the universe presented, and he created a super soldier from his own DNA. And each of these different factions, these different chapters.
Fala aí, Alan Joga Games.
But what makes the Primaris?
Obrigado pela companhia aí, pessoal. Eu sei que esse evento o evento da Microsoft foi mais ou menos.
found a way to enhance
Esse aqui tá
that a Space Marine has by installing new devices, new kind of bio implants in their body. So now these guys are 2.5 meter tall monsters capable of destroying anything in their path.
It's reminding me of the 1,000 times I have rewatched the Astartes animation.
That's amazing.
It's so exciting. It's so exciting that we now get to be in that position to play that kind of character. And in the trailer, we saw a lot of Tyranids. Are they the main enemy that you're going to be against? And if so, what makes them such a compelling foe?
In this particular game, the Tyranids are the main focus, and what makes them compelling is that they are extragalactic locust-like creatures. They've come in from goodness knows where, they spread like wildfire, they devour everything in their path, and they leave nothing in their wake.
So one of the great things about the Tyranids is they come in the thousands, and our proprietary engine, the Saber Swarm engine, can deliver these epic battles. Now we will have thousands of Tyranids.
A Capcom amanhã às 7 horas já.
I mean, that is so thrilling because this is the sort of thing that older games couldn't even hope to do. And you're talking a little bit about combat. I know that some of the previous entries were more melee focused. What's the combat like in Space Marine 2?
So the combat in Space Marine 2 is a mix of in-your-face melee combat along with some really cool over-the-top weapons. So we looked at the original Space Marine game where it had a lot of this push forward combat.
Pô, esse microfone que eles estão falando é do AirPod? Muito bom, hein?
Never take cover combat is integral to Space Marine 2, along with these really cool, powerful weapons. So you're either tearing up the enemies in front of you, or you're blowing them away from the back of the battlefield. It's the best of both worlds.
I mean, that sounds so terrific. And I mean, I know you guys are huge fans of the 40K lore, so I'm curious about, in working on this project, what's been the most fun seeing come together? I mean, what's Saber Interactive focusing on right now?
Right at the beginning of the project, Tim and I went to the Warhammer Museum, which was an incredible experience. And you go around all these cabinets where these incredible miniatures that have been painted by these masters are arranged in these dioramas. You find yourself kind of crouching down and looking into the ranks of Space Marines that are facing Tyranids or Orcs or whatever. And something that Tim and I said at that moment was, we need to make this come alive. I don't want to look at this, I want to be inside this. I want to be gunning down Tyranids by the thousands. And so seeing that actually happen and come alive has been thrilling.
Am I going to feel like the characters in the Astartes animation? Because if so, then I'm buying the game immediately.
Even more so, when you're wielding one of those massive weapons and you're faced with 1,000 Tyranids who all want to eat you alive, and you're just letting rip and you can see shell casings bursting out of these massive weapons one after another. The sound, the gameplay, the way it feels is all designed to make you feel like the most powerful warrior in the universe.
Well, perfect. That answers everything. Thank you so much, Tim and Oliver from Saber Interactive, for joining us. I can't wait. Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2 comes to PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S soon. Now, next, we have a few more surprises for you up the sleeves of our proverbial power armor. First, Replicant D6's homage to the golden days, or should I say, golden eyes of 90s console shooters, and an atmospheric sci-fi adventure on the Red Planet from Frontier Developments and Kyoken Interactive. Let's take a look.
Yeah. Pô, fizeram um jogo, um FPS com gráfico estilo GoldenEye 64. Ah, dá pra fazer uma campanha, né? Spies never die. Maneiro. Acho que tinha que tirar esse Spies never die do título, ficou meio merda. Agente 64 já tava bom, cara.
This is Kathy. Can you hear me? Please come in.
Mission Opera has only one.
Mais um.
Bring the Arks and their revolutionary technology back home.
Here we go, Opera Team. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
I need to know that when we get there, you'll make the right decisions. We can do this. What do you expect to find?
Pegada meio Tomb Raider. Ah, é esse aí, é. Porra, maneiro, hein?
Hi, my name's Elise Chappell, and I play Kathy Johansson in the out-of-this-world sci-fi epic Deliver Us Mars. Join Kathy and the crew of the Zephyr on an unmissable adventure
Sobrancelha linda, hein?
planet to recover technology vital to the survival of Earth and humankind. Deliver Us Mars is set to land on September 27th and is available to pre-order now on PlayStation, Xbox, Steam, and the Epic Games Store.
Sobrancelhas lindas.
And listen. To this list of games still to come, the team behind Half-Life Alyx Levitation will put their mod where their mouth is, and then it's paradox time. Not as in us creating an actual time paradox, we're going to show you the latest from Victoria 3. Plus, you can literally
Já vou pedir aqui desse.
with the creeping horror of
Eu achei que esse Deliver Us the Mars aí era uma bosta. Vou pedir aqui já, velho.
final pop quiz for all you Valorant, CSGO and League of Legends.
Eu vi o pessoal oferecendo aqui desse game aqui. Deve ser aqueles RTS merda. Quero jogar com a sobrancelhas lindas.
Visit gaming.compassdatacenters.com.
Sobrancelhas em 4K.
And now, back to the show.
Up next, we're going to take a look at Stormgate, the highly anticipated real-time strategy game from Frost Giant. Then, our resident RTS addict is going to sit down with some of the game developers to ask the hard-hitting questions like, when can we play this already?
Two years ago, our team assembled with a shared vision to build a brand new real-time strategy game. Together, we've been fortunate to work on some of the greatest RTS games of all time, and now we have a chance to do it again by creating the next evolution of that legacy. Today, we are so excited to share a first glimpse of Stormgate, an exclusive sneak peek into the universe and game that we've been creating for you. Stormgate takes place in an all-new post-apocalyptic setting where science fiction and fantasy collide. Our story begins hundreds of years in Earth's future, following the near extinction of humanity. This great calamity was caused by the Infernal Host, a playable alien race of demonic invaders that are hell-bent on claiming this planet as their own. With our story, we are creating an ever-expanding game universe, told through an ongoing series of campaign missions that you can play solo or cooperatively. New chapters will come out regularly, along with new units, maps, modes, and plenty of other surprises. In addition to campaign missions, we're building a world-class competitive experience with grassroots and professional tournaments accessible from directly within the game. There will be different leagues suitable for all levels of experience. In our new 3-player co-op versus AI mode, you'll level up your heroes, collect rewards, and customize your forces to open up new styles of gameplay and long-term variety. Stormgate will be free to play, but not pay to win, and there will be no NFTs. Beta testing starts next year, and you can sign up now to reserve your place in line at playstormgate.com.
You might happen to know that I'm a huge fan of real-time strategy games. StarCraft is my favorite game. I played it for 25 years. I still play it, and that's why I am so thrilled today to be talking to Frost Giant Studios. They're a group of amazing developers who have worked on literally my favorite games of all time. and we're here to talk about their brand new, free-to-play, real-time strategy game set in a post-apocalyptic Earth. It's Stormgate. And here to talk about it is the CEO and production director at Frost Giant, Tim Morton. Thanks for joining us, Tim.
Thank you so much for having me here.
I want to know about the world. I want to know about the game. Tell us, what is Stormgate?
All right, this is our first game as a new studio, and it is classic real-time strategy, but designed to be more social. We build the game in a universe that ties everything together, but provide different kinds of experiences for players who like different kinds of gameplay. So we've got cooperative campaign mode, also play open-ended co-op, but if you're somebody who really enjoys competition, we've got 1 versus 1, high skill, competitive. And those are very different ways to play in some ways, but they're also all unified by the universe, by the races, by the units. So you really get a sense for how to enjoy the game.
And I'm curious a little bit about that core gameplay, because obviously in all these modes you're going to be collecting money, building bases, building units, and so on. And I know that for you, the game feeling really good and really smooth to play is super important. Now, obviously, I come from a time where if the pathfinding is bad, we call that high skill opportunity. But I mean, how do you think about getting the controls, the motions, just the feel of the game to feel good in 2022?
Yeah, it's interesting that RTS is one of the only genres I can think of where you have to have hundreds, even thousands of units synchronized over the network and responsive in a way that high skill, like pro esports players feel good about playing the game. That's not easy. It does require custom technology. There's no engine that you buy off the shelf that does that for you. So we definitely started knowing that and having the benefit of our chief architect, James Anhalt, who did that work previously on StarCraft 2. So we've put a lot of effort into that for sure.
And this is going to be one of the first major RTSs people are aware of that is on Unreal Engine 5. What is it like working in this next generation engine?
It's pretty incredible how far things have come from a graphics perspective, and I think the art team is unlocked in so many ways by what Unreal provides. So we're very excited. We're still learning everything that Unreal can do for us, but even that first cinematic that we debuted, like, that's done in Unreal. So the high quality graphics that you're seeing are actually coming from Unreal as an engine.
So you've talked a little bit about, for new players, making the game feel a little more approachable, a little bit more streamlined, but obviously, StarCraft, real-time strategy, has this astonishingly long history as a competitive game, as an esport. And I'm curious, how is your team going to approach that?
So a lot of the emphasis around our thinking has been focused on what are things that we can add, especially around the gameplay experience. And one of those things is more seamless integration with esports. I mean, being able to
esse gabinete é muito maneiro.
participate in tournaments directly from the client in a way that gives players, even if you're not like top grandmaster, ready to take on Cyril, there's still an opportunity to be the best on your block, or the best at your company, or the best at your school. So we want to facilitate esports all the way from grassroots level up to the pro level directly in the client.
So, of course, in the history of RTS games, a really important component of them has always been mods. I mean, Warcraft 3, there's players that didn't even play the original game. They just did custom mode after custom mode. Does Stormgate have modding? How are you thinking about the modding community?
A number of members of the Frost Giant team actually came out of the modding community. The team as a whole is very passionate about it. From the outset, we started out applying resources to build a custom editor. I think there's a lot of opportunity to make improvements to the editing experience for RTS. We are also working on the infrastructure for people to be able to share their mods with each other. So it's really core to us as a team to enable modding, and we're absolutely working on it.
And of course, we have to end with my favorite question of all. When can we play the game, and how do we play it, Tim?
So we are going to start our beta in 2023. We already have a site stood up at playstormgate.com to be able to register for the beta. We have a lot of active discussion topics on our subreddit as well, so there's an opportunity to participate in the dialogue around what we're building.
Tim, thank you so much for joining us again today. We just got a chance to talk about Stormgate, the upcoming free-to-play RTS from Frost Giant Studios. I'm personally super pumped to play it, and be sure to check it out at playstormgate.com. Now, Tim, I'm going to do a transition to the next game. Are you ready? This is gonna be good. Watch this, it's gonna be so sick. Next, we're gonna show you Leysara, Summit Kingdom from Quite OK Games. Now, as someone who has spent a medically inadvisable amount of time playing strategy games of all sorts, this looks incredibly up my alley. And it looks a lot safer than my last attempt to create society in the mountains. 2 words to yodeling accident. Let's check it out.
Futuri Game Show eu não acompanhei, cara. Aquele joguinho da Devolver que se começa no... como se fosse aqueles livros Papercraft, achei muito legal. Só não vou lembrar o nome do game, que é um nome horrível. Até agora o System Shock e aquele que parece o Forspoken lá, só que tinham mostrado na conferência da Microsoft, agora mostraram de novo aqui na de PC. Luke Squire. O nome é muito ruim, cara. O nome do jogo tinha que ser Little Book. My Little Book ou The Little Book, sei lá. Coisa fácil de lembrar, né? É igual esses arrombados que botam esses nomes bosta aí na internet, pô. Gamertag bosta, o caralho. É. Não tem GoldenEye HD, vai a gente 64 mesmo. Melhor que nada, né? Cara, esse ano, além do Elden Ring, o que eu tô mais ansioso, Tartarugas Ninja, que vai sair no Game Pass, e o Callisto Protocol.
Frozen Flame, an open-world survival RPG from Dreamside.
Fala, Evander.
You'll embark on a fantasy adventure in a world reshaped by a magical calamity. A cursed land full of environmental hazards and massive monsters doesn't sound like the kind of place you'd want to build a cozy home with your friends, but instead you'll be raising fortresses and trying to tame the world, eventually growing tough enough to tackle the citadel that looms over everything and break the curse. Or you'll end up in the belly of a monster. Still kind of cozy. The demo for Frozen Flame was released just before the show, so you can jump in or grab some co-op buddies and see how long you can survive for right now. And keep an eye out for the early access launch later this year.
If you could listen to the noise of history, then you would hear by the sounds of the Victorian Age that the world changed forever.
Não deu tempo deles confirmarem o GoldenEye HD.
The bangs from new factories and the cries in the streets.
Só se o GoldenEye HD fosse sair daqui no final de 2023, né? Para eles anunciarem no evento de fim de ano, de repente no Game Awards eles anunciam, né, o GoldenEye HD.
You will meet the people back then, high and low, over cultures across the globe. They are the beating heart of your nation.
Então, quem tá desbloqueando conquista no GoldenEye HD são os desenvolvedores. É o pessoal da Rare.
Or turn a deaf ear to protect what is proven and stable.
Pô, valeu demais aí todo mundo que renovou o Prime hoje, deu uma animada aí. Agora que vai acabar o auxílio streamer aqui, eu tô meio... não sei pra onde eu vou, né? E se eu conseguir manter pelo menos... se eu conseguir ganhar aqui na Twitch metade do que me ofereceram no Facebook, eu prefiro ficar aqui na Twitch mesmo. Agora, se o meu salário da Twitch cair mais do que já caiu, vai ficar bem complicado não aceitar aí pro Facebook, né? Mas eu prefiro ter a liberdade que a Twitch me oferece do que ficar mais restrito no Facebook, né? E eu sei que vocês estão mais acostumados aqui com a Twitch também, né? Eu ia tentar a Trovo pra fazer o Cine DK, mas a Trovo... O pessoal tá começando a sair da Trovo também.
What is the sound that will echo over continents and be heard over the noise of time as you create your grand tomorrow?
Victoria 3.
That was the gameplay debut of Victoria 3 from Paradox Interactive, a grand strategy game coming later this year. And let us take this moment to let you know you can wish us Victoria 3 by visiting the PC Gaming Show event page on Steam, where you'll be able to find every game featured in today's show. Type pcgamer.com/wishlist into your browser to be taken straight to there. And now on with the show.
Ah, cara, esse lance dos paladinos lá da Trovo... Provavelmente esses caras têm conchavo aí com esses administradores, cara. Se o cara tava ganhando 15 mil, provavelmente devia estar dando 5 mil na mão dos caras lá pra fazer vista grossa. Eu não duvido nada, né? Eu tô especulando aqui, eu não tenho informações privilegiadas não, eu tô especulando. Mas eu acho que deve rolar alguma coisa que é impossível os caras não identificarem quem tá usando bot ali, né, velho? Uns FPS clássicos aí, ó. Dusk. Hexen. Podiam relançar o Hexen.
What's up, PC gamers? We're back again. Now, what you just saw was everything
Zé Bombinha. Você podia comprar uma camisa do seu tamanho, né, cara? O cara compra a camisa toda apertada só pra realçar os mamilos.
So we're doing it anyway.
Esse que é HD. Esse fala é esses aí, parece maneiro. Amityville.
But I want to let you know that yes, we're still working on a top-down shooter. Yes, we're still working on a Fallout-style RPG, my dream game. And yes, we're still working on a car combat game. But we're not ready to talk about those games just yet. What I want to talk about is Gloomwood. Now, 2 years ago, y'all straight up forgot to show the Gloomwood trailer. Last year, you bumped me so Gabe Newell could talk about a bunch of demos or some shit. This year, PC Gamer, you promised we would get to show Gloomwood, so I don't want to hear any bullshit. If you're on a Steam Deck ad right now or some shit, I'm gonna...
Steam Deck. Powerful, portable, PC gaming.
PC Gamer! You see this puppy? I will drown this puppy! I will... If you don't let us show Gloomwood, I am going to drown this adorable... I would never do that. Hi, I love you. So yeah, we good?
No.
Can we show Gloomwood? Are you sure? Well, all right. It's about time.
Isso é jogo antigo de PC? Nunca ouvi falar. Eu sou noob, comecei a jogar agora. Só jogo Valorant e escuto a Anitta. E tento pagar meu mercado com Game Pass.
Hello, Doctor. I had hoped for us to meet at my estate. No matter. I can guarantee.
Caraca, o menu igual do Resident Evil. Isso aí é jogo antigo de PC, né?
Don't delay.
Bloomwood.
I'll be waiting.
Chief with Guns.
There's only one thing I like more than playing New Bloods games, and that's probably the URLs they make for them. It wouldn't be a PC gaming show without the silliest, most ridiculous website names in human history.
Valeu Agora Games, valeu Biller, Nanzeira, Michel Carlos.
From medieval mayhem to an adorable animal fight club. And our first rule, we absolutely plan to talk about it.
Até que o evento, esse PC game não tá tão ruim, cara. Valeu, Daniel. É, cara, eu tenho que aumentar um pouquinho o número dos Primes aí pra eu conseguir tentar ganhar pelo menos metade do que me ofereceram no Facebook pra eu ficar aqui na Twitch mesmo. Eu não quero sair da Twitch não, cara, mas... os caras da Twitch ainda estão inventando de reduzir aí o repasse de 70 pra 50. Se diminuir 20% aqui, 20% pra mim aqui vai fazer uma diferença braba também.
Okay, I'm gonna take that. Have you tried turning it off and on again? Yes, I have.
The update to System 10.1.
Mas de repente eu implemento os sorteios que eu pretendia fazer no Facebook, de repente eu implemento aqui na Twitch. Infelizmente sortear console já não tá dando mais aqui.
While I go rummage into the bin for it, please welcome my personal assistant. That will do a great job at pitching the game for you.
Valeu aí, 16 bits.
Talk about how cool I am in the story and how funny and witty. You know, just talk about me.
Cara.
Found it. Ah, ladies and gentlemen, the trailer. Okay, who had the amazing idea to save the trailer backup in 14.4 pixels? Do we have any ants working for us?
Cara, mas... Pra eu conseguir ganhar o que me ofereceram no Facebook, eu teria que ter 2.400 Primes, cara. 2.400 não, uns 2.600 Primes. É um número muito alto. Olha os bichinhos transando, cara. Aí tem aquela diferença, né? No Facebook é um contrato fixo. Aqui na Twitch eu posso ter 100 Primes hoje, posso ter 200 amanhã, ou posso ter 200 hoje, 50 amanhã, nunca... Eu não sei quanto é que o pessoal... Não sei se o pessoal vai renovar mês que vem ou não, então fico dependendo da galera renovar, né? Call Fight. Então, pensando em estabilidade, o Facebook seria a melhor opção. Mas, ao mesmo tempo, eu fico bem mais limitado lá no Facebook, né? Eu não sei se eu posso cobrir evento, não sei se eu posso fazer react. Acho que não, né? É igual o povo que não sai do YouTube, né? The Fight Herds. Maneirinho. O pessoal que não sai do YouTube por nada, nem se eu fizer sorteio de Play 5 aqui na Twitch. O cara só pensa nele mesmo, né? Ele não pensa no que é melhor pro streamer, né? Esses últimos anos pra mim foi melhor trabalhar aqui na Twitch do que focar no YouTube. É por isso que o meu canal no YouTube tá meio estagnado, mas... a gente tem que também... eu não posso pensar só no público, né? Quando eu faço o Cine DK pra vocês, eu tô pensando em vocês. Ao mesmo tempo, eu tô correndo o risco de perder o canal, de dar alguma merda. A gente nunca sabe o que pode acontecer aqui na Twitch, né? É por isso que eu tenho feito o Cine DK no canal secundário. Sorteios também, né? Só que eu também tenho que pensar no meu futuro, né? Já eu já tô virando um velho decrépito aí, pô. Pinto não sobe mais.
That was the latest DLC for Core Keeper, the sandbox survival sim from Fireshine Games and Pugstorm. The Sunken Sea Biome update is available on June 15th for all Core.
Ó, dá pra ver o teleprompt aqui, ó. Tá vendo o reflexo do teleprompt aqui no...
press enter to continue.
no gabinete?
Did you press it? I'm gonna go ahead and assume you pressed it. No, but seriously, press it.
Teleprompt.
Life can be harsh everywhere. But in the old world, there was no hope of it.
É, cara. Esses últimos anos a gente conseguiu se estabilizar aqui na Twitch. É uma plataforma boa, né? A maioria das Smart TVs hoje tem o aplicativo da Twitch. Celular também, embora o aplicativo do celular tenha esse problema de não notificar das lives, né? Mas eu me sinto bem aqui na Twitch, cara. Eu só queria que o cara que me contratou, eu queria que ele me desse um feedback em relação... eu queria ter uma segurança maior pra fazer o Cine DK, né? Porque quando eu fui contratado, falaram que eu podia assistir qualquer conteúdo do YouTube. Então, como eu tenho focado em filmes que estão no YouTube, mas mesmo assim eu fico... eu não consigo ficar à vontade, porque tem o problema das tetas também, né? E quando eu tô vendo um filme que eu nunca vi, é foda, não sei quando vai ter teta, igual o Vingador Tóxico 2 lá na Trovo. Se fosse aquilo lá na Twitch, eu tinha tomado ban. Infelizmente a Twitch acabou virando esquema de pirâmide, né, velho? Por causa desses streamers gigantes aí. Que agora o Prime dá... o valor do Prime caiu muito, né? Mas quando eu fui contratado aqui na Twitch, eu até estranhei, cara, porque... o Prime custava... o Prime R$9,90 e a gente tava recebendo R$4 por Prime... Falei, pô, tá errado isso, né? Mas eu falei, pô, vou aproveitar, né? Vou incentivar a galera a assinar o Prime. Todo mundo... vocês ganham, eu ganho, ainda faço sorteio. Aí eu aproveitei, né, cara? Juntei um dinheirinho. Eu vou aproveitar esse último mês aqui, eu quero fazer... mudar o layout aqui do canal, né? Eu quero poder colocar o computador aqui do meu lado... fazer um esquema de câmera. Eu quero botar minha televisão presa na parede. Quero montar um cockpit também pra jogar os games de corrida. Eu tô querendo botar um sofá aqui no meu quarto. Um sofá de 2 ou 3 lugares. E eu queria botar uma mesinha entre a TV e o sofá. Quero botar uma mesinha de centro, onde eu possa botar as minhas coisas e tal, o controle, headset. Vai ficar uma parada maneira. Eu vou comprar um negócio pra botar na janela pra isolar bem o áudio, que eu vi no Mercado Livre, que é feito com fibra de lã de vidro. É tipo uma cortina, né? Só que é uma cortina que você prende nos pregos assim. Aí fica bem isolado mesmo o áudio. É porque eu ia fazer uma obra aqui em casa, mas eu não tô querendo mudar o layout Eu não tô querendo mudar o layout do apartamento, né, cara? Eu vou tentar fazer o que dá pra fazer aqui no meu quarto mesmo. Tentar otimizar o espaço que eu tenho aqui no meu quarto. Porque esses próximos 2 anos aí, se eu for pro Facebook, se eu conseguir renovar, se eu conseguir um bom contrato no Facebook, se eu for pro Facebook, é claro, aproveitar pra juntar uma grana pra eu poder dar uma entrada no apartamento, né? Eu também não posso passar o resto da minha vida aqui, né? Quero ter um espaço pra mim também, né? Só que eu não quero alugar, né, cara? Porque quando a gente aluga apartamento, fica naquela limitação de não poder fazer nada. Eu queria ter um apartamento pra mim onde eu pudesse fazer o que eu quiser, né?
Modders Sean FMP1 Snelling and Corey Latto are making something incredibly special in the form of an ambitious mod for Half-Life Alyx. It's called Levitation. It's an original 4 to 5 hour campaign that builds on
esse Half-Life aí tinha que sair do VR, do PlayStation.
Rebels gone rogue. They've discovered a strange floating building in Sector X and decided to investigate it, against orders, obviously, and now it's your turn. Let's go back to the world of Gordon, G-Man, and Alyx with this exclusive gameplay footage.
Todo mundo criando Half-Life 3 e... O pior é que os caras fizeram um game de VR muito foda, né? Os vizinhos aqui de cima voltaram, velho. Já 3 horas da manhã tacaram... Acho que tacaram uma pedra no chão aqui, tremeu meu quarto todo. Uma merda, cara. Cara, é pecado isso, velho. Fazer um Half-Life de VR e não fazer o Half-Life 3, isso é pecado, gente. Cara, olha essa arma, que maneiro. Duas pessoas jogaram isso aí, cara. O mínimo lançar pro PlayStation, porra. Jogo foda, hein? Xbox cagou pro realidade virtual, né? Esse jogo ele é um exemplo de como tem que ser os games em VR, né? Muito maneiro. Pessoal do chat aí, já experimentaram alguma coisa em VR? Eu já joguei e já vi pornografia também. Muito foda, os dois são fodas. Depois que você se masturba em VR... Não quer saber de outra coisa. Só falta aquelas máquinas de ordenhar pinto, né? Vou botar aquelas máquinas de ordenhar pinto na piroca. Nem aqueles japoneses muito loucos. É o futuro, né, cara? É o futuro. Ah, o maluquinho lá, ó. Ó, eles estão dando sinais aí, hein, cara. É o Garry's Mode. Caraca, essa arma aí é do Half-Life 3, né? Do Half-Life. Ah, tiro no pé. A arma dos fascistas. Caraca, o áudio. Nostalgia pura. Caraca, é aquela sentinela do Guerra dos Mundos. Imersão foda, cara. Só faltou a Gravity Gun pra arremessar os barris. Ah, errou o carregamento. Caralho. Jogou o bagulho igual o Lodum, mano. Gás. Olha. Entrou. Vai pegar a metralhadora?
Oh, nice.
É. Lugar inusitado pra ter um... Caraca. Passou, repassa, né? Caraca. Maneiro, hein, cara. Você tem que sair pro VR do PlayStation, pelo amor de Deus, cara. Tem aquela metralhadora no chão ali? Caraca, embaçado, hein? Não tem mais cura, não. Ele já quebrou a televisão. Deu um soco na parede. Ah, barril.
Three cells left. Oh boy.
Caraca, velho. Eu podia ficar assistindo essa gameplay por horas. Foda, velho. Foda.
Well, folks, this is the end. We've learned a lot today about ourselves, about computers, about genetically engineered space marines. And with so many games on the way, there has truly never been a better time to be part of the PC gaming.
Olha, o Sr. Wilson fez uma raid agora que eu vi.
2 hours, we saw games from developers.
Fala aí, Mr. Wilson.
Everyone who tuned in to watch the show, all the developers who shared their work with us, and of course,
Não aguentou, não?
PC gaming show to life.
Indeed, remember to tip your
Eu tô quase dormindo aqui também. Mas esse Half-Life aí achei maneiro, cara.
Tell me immediately. Anywhere you can find one, let me know. And of course, a warm thanks to you again for
Esse gabinete aí também achei maneiro.
It's something I look forward to every year, and we're thrilled that you joined us again. See you next time. Bye bye.
Cara, depois do evento da Microsoft, que eu esperava um pouco mais.
This is the official PC Gaming Show 2022 pre-show. It's the live show before the pre-recorded show. Go to the start. Make sure you're staying hydrated. Replenish your potions and let's do it again. This is the first time.
Eu achei o
Spiral further into my concerns.
a gente especulando que ia ter o GoldenEye HD, né? Ganhamos o Agent 64.
You want perfect? Watch this. So, now they're all rested up. Let's enjoy a slice of that cyberpunk life. Experience the...
Tem que ficar... Vou jogar o GoldenEye no emulador.
Come to the end of our show at long last. With so many... I saw my spit fly out. And I hope...
Naraka, 10 milhões de pessoas jogando Naraka, né? Só se for em Taubaté. Não é possível, cara. Os caras querer meter essa pra cima da gente, né? O super sucesso, 10 milhões de pessoas. Naraka, tipo... Naraka? Que porra é essa? Samba de amigo? Maracas?
The 5.5
Naraka.
i9 12900KS with a 32GB of DDR. I was doing so well.
Fuck.
Ah, God, there were so many numbers all at once.
Game reveals to share with you, which would only mean one thing.
Será que já tem no YouTube aí um trailer em 4K do Forza, do Starfield? Amanhã tem Capcom, mas... Cara, eu acredito que a Capcom vai ser também... Não tô com muita expectativa pra Capcom não, hein? Aqui no PC Game eu curti o... Eu achei o visual do System Shock muito foda. Night Dive, né? Night Dive é foda. Meteram o Max Payne, não entendi. Meteram BioShock. Isso aqui foi um clickbait da porra também. Você olha aqui o... Olha lá, Half-Life. System Shock teve, né? Half-Life, tem o Marine ali do Doom. Tem o Big Dead ali, Esqueci o nome dos bonecos do... Eu tô tão fudido da cabeça, velho, que eu esqueci do... É Big Daddy, né? É Big Daddy os bonecos do BioShock? Porra, eu esqueci o nome dos bagulho ali, pô. O Max Payne. O que o Max Payne tá fazendo ali, cara? A Lara Croft ali. Tem um dragão. Tem um cara careca ali, que eu não sei quem é. Tem até o Green Fandango ali, acho que é o Green Fandango. Tem um Sif, eu acho. E tem um carinha, acho que do Team Fortress, sei lá, e um Reptil. Tem o Wesker. E tem, acho que, sei lá, o gay do Mass Effect. Tem um cara do Killzone.